she slapped it out of me, like for real. And you get a moment where I go, woo! And I stayed in it.
It was so loud. And I thought, oh my God, I really smacked him like hard. And I'm so sorry. And I said, Tay, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. And I was thinking, he is not good.
I was pissed. I was like, I'm never gonna work with her again. You know, how unprofessional.
Taraji P. Henson's voice trembled, but her eyes were sharp. In a moment that felt more like a therapy session than an interview, she finally let it all out. Her truth wasn't wrapped in metaphors or hidden behind carefully worded press statements. It was raw. It was emotional. And it shocked everyone who heard it. She said she came dangerously close to physically confronting Nia Long, another Black Hollywood icon. And the reason? It had nothing to do with a recent incident. It was years in the making. Taraji had held this in for too long. She confessed, I couldn't take it anymore. Her pain echoed beyond just a personal conflict. It spoke to something much deeper, something that lives in the cracks of Hollywood's glamorous exterior. Two women who carried the weight of being Black excellence, caught in a storm of silent competition, whispered sabotage, and forced comparisons. The way she told it, it was less about throwing hands and more about finally releasing the pressure that had been building inside her chest for years. And everyone listening could feel it. Taraji P. Henson and Nia Long were never just actresses, they were forces. They gave life to roles that shaped Black culture, and they did it with grace, strength, and undeniable talent. But behind the applause, the magazine covers, and the red carpets, there was a quiet battle that no one wanted to talk about. A silent competition between two women who should have been allies, not rivals. For years, Hollywood insiders whispered about it. They'd go out for the same roles. One would get it. The other would be told she was too much or not the right fit. Directors, casting agents, and even fans constantly compared them. Who's better? Who's more elegant? Who deserves the spotlight? Taraji, for the most part, kept it classy. She never called names. She smiled. She worked. But in her recent confession, she admitted the weight had become unbearable. There was always something going on behind my back, she said. And though she didn't accuse Nia directly, the implication hung in the air. She felt like someone had been cutting her down, little by little. Someone close. Someone powerful. It all seemed to come to a head with one particular role. The details are hazy, but insiders say it was a high-profile project. Taraji had auditioned. She'd nailed it. Everyone thought she was a lock. She even let herself believe the part was hers. But at the last minute, Nia Long came in, and everything changed. Suddenly, Taraji was out, and Nia was in. On paper, it was just another casting decision. But for Taraji, it was personal. This wasn't just about losing a role. It was about trust, loyalty, sisterhood. I smiled, I stayed professional, Taraji revealed, but deep down I wanted to scream. That one moment, according to those close to her, marked a turning point. It was like confirmation of every quiet doubt she'd ever had about their relationship. From that day forward, something shifted in her. She stopped pretending. She started seeing things more clearly. And that's when the hurt started cutting deeper. The pain finally boiled over during a tense night at an exclusive industry party. The setting was elegant. The guests were elite. But the mood between Taraji and Nia was anything but calm. According to people who were there, the tension was obvious from the moment they walked into the same room. Taraji had reached a point where she couldn't hold it in anymore. She approached Nia directly. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were sharp. She confronted her about the constant shade, the subtle digs, and the behind-the-scenes games that had been going on for years. People say Nia didn't deny it. In fact, she reportedly smirked, said something dismissive, and walked away. That's when Taraji's fists clenched. Her breathing changed. I had to walk away, she said, before I embarrassed myself and made headlines for the wrong reasons. One witness described the moment vividly. You could feel the energy shift. Taraji was done playing nice. It was like watching someone who had finally reached their breaking point. That moment didn't lead to punches being thrown, but emotionally, it was just as explosive.
Why are you so mad? Are you on your period?
But even through all the personal pain, Taraji pointed to something bigger. Something uglier. Something that's been happening in Hollywood for decades. She said the real enemy wasn't just one person. It was the system. The machine. The way the industry sets up Black women to compete instead of collaborate. She talked about rooms where she had to smile even when she felt invisible. About being constantly compared to Nia, even when their work was entirely different. They wanted us to be rivals, she said. They fed off it. And it worked for a long time. Her voice cracked when she said those words. Because it wasn't about hate. It was about exhaustion. About being tired of pretending everything was okay. Tired of being the strong black woman all the time. Tired of keeping it cute while the world watched her fight twice as hard to be seen as half as good. Taraji made it clear, this wasn't just a personal story. It was a truth that too many women could relate to. So where does Nia Long stand in all of this? That's the part that's got everyone guessing. So far, she hasn't said a word. No statements. No interviews. Nothing. But the internet never forgets. Fans started digging up old interviews, and one in particular is now making waves. In it, Nia says, some people take this business too personally. At the time, it seemed innocent. Now, fans are calling it a subtle jab at Taraji. Others point to Nia's past red carpet behavior, her tone, her expressions, her little comments, and say the shade was always there, just under the surface. Of course, there are those defending Nia, saying she's always been poised and professional. That she carries herself with grace. But her silence now? It's causing a divide. Is it classy restraint? Or is she avoiding accountability? The lines are blurry. And with every hour that passes, the pressure builds. People want to know where she stands. Because in Hollywood, silence can speak louder than words. Meanwhile, social media is doing what it always does, blowing the story up from every angle. Tweets, TikToks, Instagram Lives, every platform is buzzing with opinions, theories, and analysis. One fan tweeted, Taraji been holding this in. You could hear the years of pain in her voice. Another wrote, Nia Long is too slick with her shade. I believe every word Taraji said. But not everyone agrees. Some are accusing Taraji of stirring the pot for attention. They say the timing feels suspicious. Others are defending Nia, saying the whole situation has been blown out of proportion. TikTok creators are now making deep dive videos breaking down every interaction the two have ever had. From award show speeches to subtle body language on red carpets, people are playing detective, trying to piece together a story that's been quietly unfolding for decades. And the truth is, this isn't just gossip. It's history. It's emotion. It's the kind of tension that only builds when two powerful women are forced to play by rules they never wrote. As the internet kept digging, more voices from inside the industry began to speak up. Some anonymously, some boldly. But their stories added fuel to the fire. A few casting agents and producers came forward and admitted that Nia Long had allies, powerful ones. Friends in high places who helped her get into rooms most people couldn't even knock on. Meanwhile, Taraji was told to tone it down. To wait her turn. To be less emotional. Less passionate. Less her. One casting agent confessed. There were definitely rooms where decisions were made before the audition. That hit hard. Fans who once thought the rivalry was just personal started to wonder, how much of this was real tension, and how much of it was manipulation? Were these women victims of a system that thrives on division? Were they being pitted against each other from the beginning? The more you look at it, the more it seems like this feud may have had more puppeteers than participants.
We open doors for brown girls to be exactly who we are, and that's beautifully complicated. And so it's been a blessing and a curse because here's what I do know. Nia Long knows her light. Nia Long knows her makeup. Nia Long knows her hair. And you probably can't talk me into something else unless you show me. If you want to call that difficult, then sorry.
Now, everyone wants to know, what happens next? Taraji's words weren't vague. They were sharp, specific, and powerful. Can something that Robbie walked back? Is there room for peace after a public eruption like this? Some fans are hopeful. They want to see a reconciliation, a healing, maybe even a collaboration between two of the most influential black actresses of our time. Imagine a film where they play sisters, best.
Bit of a challenge as
Yeah,
well.
well, yeah, she was a challenge up here a little bit.
She was, yeah.
Nia didn't want us to record her or nothing at first.